donations to those who volunteer to get the vaccinations. And there was a time when they were giving homeless people even stays in hotels. They were making hotels available,
Mm.
Airbnbs, breakfasts. That's not really happening across the board. It's only happening in certain areas. What back in the days we used to call it some of the postcode lottery. Well,
Mm.
trust me when I say that's going on in a big way. I'm in South London, and I visit North London, Islington, Angel, those kind of areas, and trust me, it's not happening to them.
Yeah.
And in Brixton and Peckham, it's not happening to the homeless there either. And homelessness doesn't necessarily mean that people are on drugs, they're prostitutes, they're crackheads, or they're gang members. It means that they're without a home. And
Yeah.
so we're looking for places to stay. And that's a dangerous place to be in. Where I had to make some empty garages available for them that people weren't using the garages for the cars. So I said, tell you what, it's not the ideal place, but if you can't afford £15 for shelter, here's a place you can stay where it's dry, it's warm, and just make sure by 7 o'clock in the morning you're out, because if the police come around and find you in there, that's another story altogether. Even
Mm.
though some people would rather get arrested and sent to jail because they know they're going to get breakfast in the morning.
Yeah. I've
So the,
encountered
men-
that.
so the mentality is completely not twisted, but it's different. It's not something we would think about when we wake up in the morning. Oh yeah, you know what? I want to be homeless today and go to jail and shoot some heroin. It's not something we think of, but people fall into categories. Grown men who've been working hard for the last couple of years, jobless. They're
Mm.
so embarrassed they can't even go home to face their family because they have a choice between paying the rent or feeding the children. If they feed the children, they can't pay the rent, they get evicted. If they pay the rent, they can't feed the children. Oh, you know what? Mom's going to run off and find somewhere to get money. The daughter, the son, whatever, they're going to find money somewhere. And before you know, that causes a complete disruption in the household. So
Okay.
that's what the suicides came in what I was talking about. Some grown men who are hardworking people, good Christian folks, where they know it's not an option for them, but they're so desperate, it's the only option they see. And so when they all go to the food bank, they're supposed to be getting money from the government, they don't get it. They go to the food bank's empty. The food bank's even begging people to donate more food. So
Yeah.
what do you do? So again, mental health is affected in such a way. Not everybody, look, I feel depressed at times. I feel anxious. I'm not going to call CAMS. I'm not going to call Solace. I'm not going to call up these places or MenCap and say, look, listen, I'm going through a really bad time right now. I need to talk to somebody. And there's a lot of people out there that feel the same, but they need to talk to someone,
Yeah.
but they don't. They feel like if it's a man, they feel like, oh, you know what, men don't go through this. We shouldn't be feeling like this. Young boys feel like, yo, man, I'm gangster. I don't do that. Young women are like, oh, I'm gonna feel vulnerable, or they're gonna put me in a shelter and I could potentially get raped or end up with a bunch of whatever.
Yeah.
And so, oh, I'm gonna get sanctioned. I'm gonna get sectioned. They're gonna take my kid away. There's a lot of fear around what's happening now. And even though mental health and the positivity of how it is like what Yemi's doing and helping people develop and understand their own mental well-being, it's new to a lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people think they can make it on their own. And I mean, the Bible says, lean not unto your own understanding. And there's a lot of truth in that because we think we know what to do. I'm ex-military. I served 14 years in the army. I know how to deal with hostile situations. But dealing with normal people is a challenge because
Mm.
people have a choice. People have a mind of their own. Mental health plays a big thing where people, they are intelligent, but their situation forces them to react differently than they ordinarily would. And
Yeah.
so it puts everybody in a different space. So what do? And I was saying in the group, find time to yourself, away from everything, and just take time out away from everyone. And then teach everybody in the family to do the same thing. If you want time out, cool, go in your room, sit there for an hour, not on the internet, not listening to music or watching films.
Yeah.
Time out. And then talk about it, trying to find a way. What is actually bothering you? What is it that makes you react to me that way?
Yeah.
Or listen, if you want something done in the house, I'll tell you what, let's come to an agreement. Have an agreement with somebody. If they're man enough, they'll come up with an agreement. I'll give you if you give me, kind of thing. It works. Listen, if you want me to do this for you, if you want data on your phone, if you want me to give you pocket money, how about you sit down with me for 15 minutes? Let's have a conversation. That conversation needs to be had because if something's not said, it can turn into a misunderstanding. That misunderstanding can turn into something very dangerous and it can rip families apart when it's something very simple. Very simple. It could be something you said, something you reacted to. And I was saying to Yvonne earlier, sometimes it's not how we are as parents. No, it's not how they are as individuals around us. It's how we respond as parents. So we too need to learn to listen, to identify what is it they're trying to say to us. Are we giving them enough time? Sometimes it's not about how much, I can give you a new iPhone or I can new pair of sneakers. Sometimes it's just your time. Just your time is
Yeah.
more valuable than anything. And that's sometimes we're missing that as parents. We're busy. We're busy We're busy on the Zoom seminar.
Yeah.
If a child came up to me now and says, "Oh, Papa, I need a," you know what? Okay, baby, what is it you need? I'll put myself on mute and I'll give them that attention. Unless I'm on the phone with, let's say, I don't know, Chief Commissioner of Police or something, then I'll say, "Baby, look, give me about a minute," and then I would ask the guy if I can call him back because my family is more important than whatever the phone call may be. And Yemi said earlier, she has to go. She has to go. If we can do it for work, why can't we do that for our family? Why can't we do that when somebody comes up to us and says, "Papa, I need you. Mama, I need you," or Auntie or Uncle. You know what? I just need 2 minutes of your time. Tell you what, I'll give you 2 minutes. I'll give you 5 minutes. What is it you need to say? And then after that, I need 5 minutes to myself because I need to get back on track where I just left off. So compromise. Compromise is healthy. And that's pretty much all I have to say there without taking up everybody's time here. I'm so sorry, but I'm just so full of ideas. But this is how we learn from each other. And I want to learn from you as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Marcus. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's something that you said that I'm going to come back at you with You Good UK, because you said someone to talk to. But before I come back with that, I'm going to say, has anybody got a question for Marcus or a statement or something they want to say as a result of what Marcus has said? And then I'm going to round up with the You Good app. So if you unmute, if you've got a question or something or statement. Did you want to say something, Scar, or was it someone else? Anyone else? Somebody who's not spoken, would they like to say something? Is that then Daniel?
Shirley, can I say?
Is that Shirley?
Hello?
Yeah, go on.
Yes, sorry. Marcus, I wanted to ask, I was trying to sort of get on your website and have a look and see what it is you do. So you're saying that you deal specifically with young people?
We do a lot with young people because young people are the ones who are now in the gangs rather than, you don't see 45, 50-year-olds out there jacking people's phones. That's the young people.
Oh, I don't know.
So that's, yes, we deal with a lot of young people as well.
Just young people. And what areas do you operate in?
Well, funny you say that, we're in 113 countries and over 113 cities in 12 countries around the world. And I myself have patrolled, I go to Brixton every week, I go to Peckham, I go to Southend-on-Sea. Once a month we go to Manchester, Leeds, Birmingham. I go to Angel and Islington every day. I'm in Southend, like near the Elephant Castle and the Waterloo area daily, because that's my patch. So all the Latino gang members, we see them, talk to them on a daily basis. And so we deal with a variety, the Brixton boys, the Peckham boys, the Lewisham boys. Oh man, you name it. You got the Aryan Front, you got the National Front. The people we talk to is just such a diverse spectrum. It's crazy how many different types of people have the same cause and same reasons, but different cultural backgrounds. So we talk to everybody.
Excellent.
Okay. Sorry, Marcus. So are you saying that you work specifically with gang affiliated young people? Is that what you're saying? You're just working specifically with them and then obviously dealing with any issues that may come up? Because obviously this topic's about mental health, lockdown and mental health and stuff like that. So I'm just trying to find the connection. Your resource is very good. It's very good because I work with young people as well, so it's good to know. But is that what you're saying? Are you do you specialize in working with gang affiliated young people? Is that what you're about?
Me, in the London group, there's about 75 of us. Me personally, I like to speak to gang members or those who are just about ready to jump in but don't know where to go. So we try to catch them before they take that step of being gang members or starting to do their first initiation steps into what they need to do before because there's so many other options that are out there. I would say anywhere, I mean, like I said yesterday, we spoke to 11-year-old who's pregnant. But me personally, I focus on those who are about 16 to 22. That's my focus group. So young dads, young moms who also had a bad life, but they're trying to go good, but then their kids are going bad. So intervention there as well, youth engagement, gang engagement. We deal with a lot of young street workers, anywhere from, like I said, 11 to 21, 22 is the eldest one. And then we have other people in the team who deal with others. who are older and more mature, of course.
Okay.
I'm going to jump in there a minute, Shirley and Marcus, because the reason why Marcus is on, because he was on last week when we were talking about Don't Die on Us, and we were talking about young people in gangs and things like that. So that's where perhaps it wasn't quite clear where the connection was, Shirley. But Marcus, if you leave your details in the chat again, I could always pass that on to Shirley. Okay. I just want to know, is there anyone else?
Thank you.
Question as well. Okay. There's something that you mentioned, Marcus, that I found was quite interesting. I think this young man's name is like, is it John Bong or something like that? But he's a rapper, a very famous rapper, and he's got lots of tattoos all over his face.
Yeah.
I think he went and joined a gang because he was looking for attention, acceptance, and love. But he then found out, he'd stepped into something which was a bit too much, because as you mentioned, there's like an initiation that you had to do. And I think part of the initiation was that he had to like go around a corner, and there was like a group of boys that were gonna, in order to teach him how to fight, they were gonna thump him up. And he thought, wow, I didn't expect all of this. Then he said one day, he's since given his life to the Lord, but he said one day he wanted to go out and buy some drugs, and he felt like intuition that he shouldn't go out that day, but he went. And then he met some group from the gangs. I think he joined the Crips, well, the gang that wore red, and
Blood.
yeah, the blood, sorry. Yeah, and one of the men punched him in his jaw once, and he felt, okay, something has got a bit loose. And the person punched him again, his jaw literally dropped. And he after that experience, he said he managed to get back in his car and he drove home. They wanted him to go around the alley. He said, I'm not going around the alley. And he drove himself to hospital. And from that, he realized he didn't want to be part, whatever he thought he was looking for in them, he didn't need to find it in them. He needed to find it in God. And so there's a clip of him sort of like crying because he's so overcome, because he's touched by the Holy Spirit. And he realized what he was looking for, he was looking in the wrong place.
Can I throw something in there?
Yeah.
Those are two things you'll find out. You'll find out that a lot of mature guardian angels, we were either gang members or military. So I grew up on an area called Hilltop, which is like the most gang infested area. The most funny thing about it is I was the only white guy in the whole neighborhood. So I stood out like a sore thumb, but I actually loved it because that's what I grew up in. I was homeless from the age of 13, and I was working from the age of 9. So I was in that gang culture, hence why I want to help those that can identify before they hit there. But we have a young man here in the UK. His name's Amani. You probably heard of him, Amani Simpson.
Yes,
definitely.
We worked, when he first started, before all these campaigns and stuff started, we knew each other already, went to church together and stuff. And that's a young gentleman that if you get in touch with Amani, he actually goes to schools in the UK and he talks to youngsters. He's got a mentorship program, and he's absolutely fantastic on what he does, because he came from a good family and became a gang member. But then when he changed his life around and wanted to become a Christian, walk and talk with God, that's when things screwed up for him. And that's when he got stabbed, and because he put his nose where it didn't really belong. But a lot of gang members, you will see them crying on TV. Those are not the ones you want to talk to. You want to talk to the gang members who are gang members who stand up and say, you know what, yeah, I did wrong. This is what I did, but now I'm helping people. They're not crying about it. They're not saying they found God. I'm a Christian. I'm actually an ordained minister, but I'm also a military man of 14 years. So you can imagine, for 14 years, I went to war. So I had a conflict with my own personal faith, because, you're not supposed to kill, but yeah, as a soldier. How does that work out? So you have to find the ones who actually talk sense, talk straight, don't cry, don't whinge. And those are the ones you're going to get facts from on how to help the community in times of need. You're going to get the straightforward, no fluff, no nonsense. This is how we're going to fix things. This is how you can talk to your son. This is how you can approach your daughter. And this is how you can deal with the drug dealers. Because there's a certain way you do not approach them. And there's a certain way that actually absolutely 100% works. But society in the UK, I found, doesn't know how to do that. And this is when a lot of conflict comes. And this is why, like when we had the shooting in Camberwell, because people try to intervene and try to fix things, and they get it twisted, thinking, if you go there, start praying with them, saying, hallelujah, Jesus loves you, you're going to lose them very, very quickly. Because we're not made to go out and force people into faith. That's a personal choice. but their personal choice was their lifestyle. So we have to work with them and get on the same level of understanding before we can actually talk to them.
Okay, Marcus, let me stop you there again. There's a young man who I'm hoping, I asked him to unmute. And Bills, do you know why I asked you to unmute?
Yeah. Kind of.
Speak to Marcus. Eva knows you already, that's why she's laughing. But speak to Marcus and to us.
Yeah, what do you want me to speak about though?
Just about what he said. He said the real person.
What did he say again?
The real persons that you would get sense out of are the ones that don't whinge, don't cry on TV, on camera, and do straight talking. Because you did some straight talking to us, and we were able to understand young people. So
yeah, definitely.
A young person.
Yeah. So what do you want me to speak on?
Just like somebody that used to be on the road, not on the road. What do we need to be saying to young people? And you're young yourself, so yeah.
Like I said, obviously, like I said to you guys before in the past, it kind of just depends. It kind of just depends, innit, on how deep that person is on the roads first and foremost. Because every case is different, innit? Not every case is the same. Like it was like you got certain people that are getting into it for protection, certain people that are getting into it for attention, certain people are getting into it for different reasons. So how you approach each case is different. Someone that's not really in it and they've kind of been peer pressured in it, you're gonna deal with them differently or talk to them differently and speak to them differently than to someone that is really in it and can't find a way out. So every case is different, really. There's not one set way of telling these people. And like I said before, when I was speaking in the other previous meetings, it's all about opportunities, isn't it? That's what it's about. It's more time. It stems from a lack of opportunities and a lack of direction, lack of purpose. And when someone's in a gang, they feel like they have a purpose, and that's why you get a lot of people that would say they're gonna die for this area or they're gonna die for that area, or because it's like that is they don't actually have their inner purpose. The gang is become their purpose. So there's so many different factors and variables, but it's not one size fits all when it comes to trying to sway someone away from that life, because there's some people that are in it that have gone past the mark of even getting them out. Like they're so mentally programmed a certain way, nothing you do is really gonna nothing you do is really gonna get rid of that mental program. And then you got some people that are halfway in it, and certain experiences and certain advice and certain things they go through could sway them away. And it's just all different, isn't it? Everyone's different, so it's not a one size fits all for trying to get someone away from that life.
Okay, thank you for that. And because it's 8:32, if anybody needs to go, just sorry that we've run over, but we're gonna just be a bit longer. Wills, I'm gonna ask you, what instances of mental health have you seen on the streets or you know of? Because obviously that's a harsh lifestyle, isn't it?
Yeah. To be honest, if I'm honest, now that I'm older, I feel like, and I look at it from where I am now, most people that are involved in that lifestyle have mental health, like probably like 95%. And some of it is not severe. Some of it is just kind of so subtle that they don't even realize they have it themselves.
Yeah.
So it stems from just being anxious all the time, always like hypervigilance, always aware, always being worried, always being, it stems from that, and it kind of goes up. And some people, they lose it because of the traumatic events they've been through. That kind of consumes them, and that's where the chemical imbalances start happening. Because I've got a friend, he's in a mental home. He's been in a mental home for about 3 years, and he got sectioned with schizophrenia. And obviously he had a hard upbringing, and a lot of things happened in his childhood, but a lot of the things that happened on the streets, I can see why he was feeling the way he was feeling, because he was going through a lot of situations where maybe he had trust in someone, or he loved someone, he thought someone loved him. And on the roads, when you're in the streets, there's no much really love. So it's like even the closest people to you will do certain things to you. And if you're not able to deal with that and able to kind of register that properly and understand that this is how it goes, that can kind of cause someone to go the wrong way.